in losing that resistance and being mindful of when it appears. And that's what I tell my clients as well. People, when usually someone wants to come to my program, I usually offer the weight loss management or weight management programs. And so people are entering the program with the intention of, I want to lose weight. The thoughts are there, and the whole intention is in losing weight. And what happens in, like, the more you're thinking about losing weight, the more you are thinking about the lack of what you don't have, right? So
Right.
getting present to that very part and letting go of the resistance of the dogma or the expectation of the society or the magazine or the television or whatever you call it. I don't know where we get it from. Like, it's like literally fed into us, right? Releasing that actually starts eliminating the toxins within the body, because that's where the healing process occurs, right? It's like what you said, Carrie. Um, if we have a cut, we can't just be like walk around with that cut and be like, yeah, we have a cut, and just like be okay with that. If your pinky is hurt, or let's suppose, I'm gonna give a more bad scenario here, but if you're sensitive, don't listen to this. But like, let's suppose it was cut, right? And I told you to start doing push-ups. Will you be able to do a push-up? Like, one? Never, right? You probably be like, Amara, this is crazy.
Like, I need a new coach.
Right? But this is right. But this is what we're doing. We're doing, sometimes we're exercising in gym, and we're taking care of our diet, and we're making these strict plans, and but our pinky is chopped off, and we're doing it all with that. So we gotta go to the root of the problem, which is like, where is the problem exactly? Where is that toxicity in our lives? Is it coming from my thoughts? Is it coming from the desire of the lack, getting that lack of whatever that I'm missing? So just take a step back. And that's why I usually start my programs with a lot of meditation in the beginning, because you have to step back, let go of the expectations, and sit down with yourself and your thoughts and analyze where those thoughts and expectations are coming from. Are they actually yours? And if they're not yours, how far back are they coming, and how many of them are they? They're uh, like fish nets over fish nets over fish nets over you, and they start releasing, and you start realizing that this is not my desire. This is not the body that I want. This is not, because this is not the height that I have. This is not the bone structure that I have. And because you start accepting yourself for who you are, you start looking in other areas of your life, which are actually the chopped pinkies. Like, are you eating exactly what your body wants? Or are you sleeping exactly what your body wants? Is it that pinky? Is that pinky the sleeping area of my life? So I have to heal it first for me to do that big push up. So that's
Yeah.
the thing.
I love that.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
There you go.
And that kind of goes back to the clubhouse we were talking about last week. Sometimes it's not necessarily what we're trying to add. It's we gotta remove some things out of the way, like you said, in the fishnet or fishnet and fishnet. And when you think about a fishnet square or a whole or whole opening is about this big. But when you start putting one over the other, 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 then you got these little holes. So we can still get things through there that we want, but it's not nearly as big and as wide and as vast as the things we can truly have if we remove all the nets, even our own, even our own. Like, so you telling me that you come here and you have the seed of God that I am inside of you, and you think you know better than what life can unfold for you? No. And that's why it's so important to be so to let go of that resistance, because sometimes things that show up for you may be exactly what you need in order for you to be able to fine tune who you are, to be able to prepare you to be the person that can obtain the things that you want. What were you going to say, Sean?
No, I was gonna say, because I was liking what she was saying, because a lot of times we don't recognize that those additional fishnets are all of the wants that are not actually our wants, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that creates that resistance. And I always like to quote this poem, but I think it fits perfectly. The poem by Rumi, that says, "When I run after what I think I want, my days are a furnace of distress and anxiety. But when I sit in my own place of patience, What
Mm-hmm.
I need flows to me without any pain. From
Mm-hmm.
this, I understand that what I want wants me, is looking for me, attracting me. There's a
Mm-hmm.
great secret in this for anyone who can grasp it. And I
Mm-hmm.
think when you start to recognize that you have all of these layers of fishnets that's making your existence so small, right?
Right.
And you're wanting things, you're wanting to lose 50 pounds when in actuality, you actually may be comfortable with that 50 pounds on you because it's only because you looked in a magazine and saw somebody
Mm-hmm.
that was 100 pounds and you think that that is the ideal, that
Yep.
is the
Yep.
perfect body. Yeah, maybe for her, may not be for you, maybe for him, may not be for you, but you're so busy looking out there and to figure out who you are when you need to look within you, which is why Umara, you may find this a lot of your clients when they're coming in, they're saying, hey, I want to come in because I want to lose 50 pounds. And then as they go through your program, they understand that, wait a minute, that's not even really what I want. That's not even really my issue, right? Because I think a lot of times we have issues that are not really our issues, right? They're issues that we've adopted as our own, right? And then we're spinning out of control trying to find resolution, right? Or answers to questions we never had, right?
Absolutely. You're absolutely right. It's like sometimes people come with the back pain, right? And I tell them, the problem is not in your back, it's in your core muscles. And they go like, what? Right? Or they have a or they have a hip issue going on. And I tell them that the problem is going on with their ankle area. And then there's another surprise, right? So just like that, um, we're looking around so just like the body, the whole lifestyle has to be inspected. So let's suppose in a body is your hand, in your lifestyle, is it your food what you're taking? In your body, it can be your knee joint, but is it that you're getting enough sleep? They're not interconnected, not exactly knee with the sleep. But what I'm saying, like you have to analyze the whole lifestyle when you're trying to recover or heal or better your body.
Absolutely. Everything depends on everything. Everything relies on everything. Nothing is separate from other things. But you're correct. We gotta change the levy. You just
And
gotta change
sometimes,
the levy because sometimes you need a little more of this and a little less of this, and depending on who I am, I may need a little more, but you need a little less of.
yeah,
It's not that we're all the same, so like, oh, you're connected and we're connected and we're all the same. No, it's not that we're all the same. We're just all made up of the same stuff. It's just you got more of something than I got. I got less of something than you got. I'm taller, I'm shorter, I'm wider, I'm you darker, I'm lighter. Like it's just we are all on the spectrum. Oh,
yeah,
and as I do this, this is something that I've been doing a whole lot lately. We're all on this spectrum. And anytime that I have been noticing that, like, I have a thought, the first thing I do with that thought, literally, is I was driving down the road on my way home yesterday and I had a thought and it just went like far, boom. I just like, where's it going? I was just driving and I did my hand like that. And what I'm doing is I'm erasing any attachment and looking at that thought all by as if it wasn't my thought. And is it serving me? If this thought was on the side of the road, would I stop and pick it up? And if I wouldn't, that thought gotta go. Because if it's not something I have truly cultivated myself because it's taking me to an end, taking me to an answer, taking me to anything that's pleasurable, even if it is my thought, I don't want it. And we tend to do that with a lot of things. We, like she said, looking in a magazine, or because like in that's a really good point that you made. Like people come in with hip issues, and it's really an ankle issue. That I can attest to that 100%. I literally just bought some $50 inserts just the other day because I have flat feet, and I started researching the thing. And if I lift my feet up, then my knees, because my knees are, I'm a little not knee, y'all. I'm a little not knee. So and then it can correct my knees, which will also help my hips and my sciatic. Like just that one thing. And I'm like, it's worth $50 because I was really having some pain and my knees were starting to hurt while I would sleep, being against each other. So it's so true. It could be something so small as just a fallen arch. And I'm ready to throw my whole body away. My knees going, my hips hurt, my back hurt. I'm ready to throw my whole body away. And the only thing I need was to raise my arch. And that's a whole word right there.
That's
Raise
because
your
we're humans
vibration.
with ego.
Yeah. Raise your
That's a
vibration.
factor. There's
Yeah.
another factor, a gift that we come with. It's called ego.
Yeah. Don't you love it?
We do ego reps in the gym. We do ego comparison of our bodies. We do ego comparison of thoughts, of material objects. That's
Mm-hmm.
where ego pumps in. Sorry, I just took
Absolutely.
your talk there.
Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead, Sean. I heard
I want
you.
I want to get practical for a minute though, because I think a lot of times when
Absolutely.
we're talking, we make an assumption that people that are listening to us are where we're at, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we
That's
were
very
not
true.
where we're at a year ago, right? Because
Yesterday.
if you would have talked to me about some energy and all that, like about a year ago, like, I kind of raised my eyebrow a little bit, right? Um, but how, what is a good first step, Umar, for let's say you have someone who is calling bullshit on what we're saying, and they're saying, no, I'm wanting, I do not believe that what I want wants me, because if it did, I would have it already, right? And so that is just not true, right? Because there's people that are going to listen to this recording and they're going to say, I'm looking at my life right now. And if I had it my way, I would have $1 million right now. And that's what I want. But it's not here, Sean. It's not here, Carrie. It's not here, you, Mara. So I call bullshit on what y'all saying. How would you respond to that? Right? If somebody right now listening that's looking at their own life right now, right, and they're not willing to do all of the things we just talked about, you got to reach them right where they are right now. And they're saying, hey, look, I don't believe that what I want wants me. And I think that may sound good, but how do I actually get to a practical use of that in a beneficial way?
That's such a great question. So, most of us in our lifetime, we don't sit down and actually write down what we want. For me, even when my coach first asked me to write one-on-one reasons of what I want, what my goals are, I was held back and it was like a shock to me, right? So once you define exactly what you want, from there you can go onward and like you said, people are like, why would I do that? So let's suppose I want $1 million. My question will be, why would do you want $1 million? And then probably they will come up with another reason, like probably this that's gonna help me support my family or my lifestyle or have a better car or a house. Why do you want to have that, right? And the answer can be or cannot be comfort or happiness going forward or joy. So ultimately the answer usually comes to happiness and joy and comfort. Happiness, right?
Mm.
The thing is, we can either acquire happiness by monetary things. We can acquire the same exact happiness and the same exact endorphins get released in the body with meditation, with mindfulness, with doing generous deeds, acting kind, making someone laugh. So, what exactly are we searching for? Why do you want that certain thing? What is the reason behind it? And can you recreate that impression in your life? And once you learn how to recreate it, then you can recreate it over and over and over and over again. There's no limit to it.
All right, so I love what you said. I want to break it down. You said one, I write you want down, which I totally connect with that, because I think that writing down your wants is what I call the brainstorming session of getting to know yourself, right? Because if you want $1 million and that thought crossed your mind, then you probably should have $1 million, right? There's some reason you feel like that, right? That you're connected to that amount, but write it down. But then also do the next step, which is the next question you ask: why do you want $1 million, right? And then when
Right.
you get that, write that and be honest. Write it down. I want to live blah. I want to go here. I want to go to Hermes. Whatever your reasons are, right? Then the next step is, why is it, right? What feeling are you going to have from being able to go buy you a Dolce bag, right? Or whatever your reasons, whatever you want to do. But that's just going to make me feel so special, and it's going to make me feel so fulfilled, and I'm just going to be so happy. Okay, now we're getting somewhere because it's not actually the $1 million. It's the feeling of what you think the $1 million is going to allow you to be able to do. So, what if there's a way to create the feeling, right? The exact feeling that you want, that fulfillment feeling, that happiness feeling, that feeling. What if you can figure out a way to create that and start doing that now, creating that? I'm almost willing to bet that the $1 million will come to you simply because you are having that feeling, you're creating that feeling without needing the material. Right? Because we're trained to think that the material creates the feeling. We got it backwards. The feeling is what
Amen.
creates the material, right?
Come
As
on.
within, so without. As above, so below, right? But sometimes you have to start there and do that exercise with yourself. And what does that do? That help you get to know yourself. You like to feel a certain way, and it usually does come down to certain feelings: happiness, fulfillment, and security, for the most part, right? But if you
Right.
can start to create those feelings without needing the material, because you are already all that anyway, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
the $1 million is coming from you anyway, right?
Mm-hmm.
The house is coming from you anyway, right? So it's really the feeling, right? And so I like that. Add some
Yeah.
more to keep it going.
Yeah.
What you got to say on that?
I love that. One of the things that I like most about that is the aspect of what we want is wanting us, but the biggest barrier between what we want is knowing truly what we want. Because I would say a lot of people don't know what they want because, like you said, they are chasing material things instead of chasing the feeling that they want from those material things. Because just as I was saying in the clubhouse, I mean, it ain't my words, it's Michael A. Singer's words. He said, if you tell me you want $1 billion, I can dispel that in a second. Because if I put you on a desert island by yourself and helicopter in $1 million and there's nothing to buy, you don't want it anymore. You wanted what the $1 million could get you because you was going to take it and go buy something that was going to be a temporary fix for a long time want. And as soon as you get it, it's over. It's old. You got it. That's it. The end. Goodbye feeling because it's very short lived. Because so is you've attached it to something that can decay or that has to be kept up or that's going to change over time. And it's the same thing with relationships. We want somebody who's sexy. We want them to be able to cook. We want them to be able to do this and do that. Well, what if that great cook lost her or his hands? Then what? So you don't love them anymore? What if they had an accident and they're in a wheelchair and they can't exercise and they ain't got no hourglass body no more? You don't love them as much anymore. What you want is someone you want to feel passion. You want to feel respected. You want the things that makes you feel good about yourself. You want the things that lift you up and not tear you down. You want the things that make you feel solid and strong. You want all the security of it. You don't want the person of it because there's a billions of people in this world. And if you honestly think there's one that's just perfect, you are out of your mind. You're truly out of your mind. And when we couple on top of that, the fact that we got so much crap in us, because Susie did this when we was 2, Billy did that when we was 5, Erica did this when we was 10, Timmy did this when he was 20. And anytime anybody does anything that reminds you of Billy, Susie, and Billy, all of them people, all of a sudden you're like, I should have known. I should have known. Because you know why? It's because you spent your whole life having a relationship with you and your issues instead of other people. So now every time you meet somebody, you got to have a relationship with everything you've been through. Wouldn't it be great to get rid of that stuff so that when I meet Sean, I can meet Sean and not what Sean reminds me of out of all the crap I've been through in my life? Like,
Yeah.
that's why most relationships don't work. It's because we in a relationship with
Look,
everything about ourselves that we don't like.
what that you just did a perfect description of what Umara did with fishnets. That's adding those layers, right?
Top
That's making
on
that's
top on
make
top.
small. You